you guys all hear me? Yeah? Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to sit up here. I want to just thank you guys again for coming and waking up on a Friday morning at 8 a.m. We all went to a show last night at the Bunkhouse for our girl Lo, who killed it. We were so proud of her, and so I was like, guys, I'm a good girl. I need to get my ass up at like 6 a.m. and get here. He was a little naughty, but that's okay. We all made it work. And so, yeah, I'm just really stoked to share a little bit about myself, how I'm a weirdo, and how it's helped me with my creativity, what I do, and I'm going to do a little pop-up creative workshop with you guys, because I always love interaction and really having a feel-good experience when you create with me. How does that sound? Yeah? Okay, cool. Okay, so a little bit about me. I see a lot of familiar faces, which is awesome. I see a friend here who moved to Connecticut, and I didn't even know she was in Vegas, and I was like, oh my God, hi. So that's really cool, and a lot of my friends back here, and just so good to see faces. And for anyone who's new to my shtick and who I am, I'm Kelly Bennett. I am a creative director, so basically I'm the girl in charge of all the creative, from marketing, branding, PR, social media, blogging, to cultivating community, cultivating a culture, collaborations, events, basically putting all that shit together. That's what I do. And managing the whole creative team. So that's my thing. And we're in a space that I am the creative director at, which I thought that was really perfect to really articulate what I do, because perfectly on par as well. When I used to tell people that I was a creative director, they were like, what the fuck is that? I've never even heard of a creative director. So Vegination is like one of my, I think it's like my graduation thesis of like, no, creative director, we could create cool things and collaborate. So you're sitting in this space, and Chef Donald, who like totally did a cool guy, like out the door, peace out moment. He's so cool. He's just so cool. He called me up 4 years ago. He heard me speak about being vegan, being a vegan blogger, and how I wanted to grow vegan businesses. I was still cultivating what my shtick was, but that was like what I had at the moment. And he heard me speak, and then he called me. I don't even know how he got my phone number, to be honest with you. And he just called me, and he was like, Kelly Bennett? And I was like, yes. And he's like, I'm opening up a business. It's called Vegination. We're serving vegan food. You're gonna make it happen. And I was like, okay, hi, who is this? I like your idea. And he's like, there's gonna be a green wall, we're gonna play reggae music, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. And I was like, all right, I'm in. I was like, but I've never met you. Like, I don't even know who you are. So we met the next day at the Beat, and that was 4 years ago, and he gave me the shtick of what he wanted to create, and I was like, done and done. I'm your creative director. Give it to me. I wrote the business concept out. He pitched it to Tony Hsieh in Downtown Project. They said yes. And we were a gamble because we were the biggest all-vegan restaurant that they were going to invest in, and they had invested in more, foods that they thought could totally sell, which are doing well, but we were the gamble. We were like the weirdos, like straight up weirdos. And I even felt weird when I was writing all this out. I'm like, man, I hope this works, but this is weird. Like, all-vegan restaurant in downtown Las Vegas, it's pretty big. We're gonna have music and local art. The whole thing was wacky, and I had stayed up really late writing it because I was super nervous. So it was like a 3 a.m. high on coffee business plan. I was like, I hope this works, because he paid me, and I hope he gets funded. Sorry about that, sir. No. And he called me. He's like, they said yes. And I'm like, of course they said yes, but inside I was like, oh my God, they said yes. I'm like, okay. And so, and in that time too, I was still finding my voice. I kept moving back and forth from New York City to here. My whole story too, I was on this journey, crusade, fixation, obsession, wackiness, weirdness of using marketing for social good. That has always been my thesis. And going back a little bit more to me, high school, I have blonde hair now, and it's fresh, but I had like the long blonde hair, super cheerleader, and I kind of talked like this, and I worked at the beach, and I was kind of a hot mess, and I was from Long Island, so I had a thick Long Island accent and long fake nails and like smoke eyes, and I was like, hello everyone, I'm Kelly Bennett, and I was like, okay. But I was like really awkward and weird, and they didn't know where to put me, and I just kept telling like my guidance counselors, my parents, my friends and family, I'm like, I am gonna change the world, and I'm gonna go to business school, I'm gonna open up businesses around the world and do good in the world, and everyone's like, that's so cute. That's adorable, but you're not good at school. You are dyslexic, you did not get accepted to any college that you applied for. Like, do you remember that? I was like, no, it's fine, I'm gonna keep going. So I literally got like a stack of denials. I'm like, that's okay, everyone. Like, that's fine. Everyone was like, kept going to school. Like, oh, I got accepted to here. I'm like, funny story. I'm going to be going to Nassau Community College where they have to let you in. So I felt really cool pulling up in my Daewoo Lanos because I had also failed my driving test 5 times. Passed it on the 6th time. I'm not lying, I was a hot mess, and they're like, you can't drive, can't write well, you failed all your foreign languages, and we think you're a little stunad in the head, so good luck in business school. But I was determined. I got my Daewoo fucking 6 times after driving at the driver's test. I got my Daewoo, I got into community college, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a businesswoman, and I'm gonna study marketing and change the world. And I just would play Blast Janis Joplin in my Daewoo, and I'm like, come on, like, and I can't sing, obviously, but I would just sing Janis Joplin, drive my Daewoo, and I was just determined. I cut off all my hair, dyed it black, wore cardigans, got glasses, and I was like, they're gonna take me seriously now. And I don't know, I got like a British accent. I was like, hello, everyone. And they're like, again, you're weird, you cut your hair, but we still see you. And so I sat right in the front of the room. I would raise my hand all the time, and the professors thought I was annoying. My classmates thought I was annoying. I would like stay after late and go to their office hours. Like, I was the only kid who would go to office hours and like wait for my professor and be like, hello, let's talk about today's lesson. They're like, Kelly, it's like 10 o'clock. I'm like, we're done. I was like, no, but I want to learn. I want to be a businesswoman. So long story short, I moved to London for a minute because I was going to study fashion too. Realized when I got to London, I wasn't that cool to be there doing fashion. I worked at the fanciest, schmanciest retail shop in Europe. Me. Okay, the first day I fall down the escalator, my shoe got stuck in a door, I knocked down a whole display of like Louis Vuitton watches and belts and all this shit, a glass display. I don't know, I just like crashed into it. All the other girls were super proper, and they're like going to fashion school. I'm like, hi, I don't know what's happening. I don't even know where I was working. I just thought, let's go to London. That sounds fun. I'm in this super posh things. I have a little suit on. I was like, this is not gonna last. And so I fall down the escalator. I tripped in the door. My shoe fell off. I knocked over a display, and they were lining us all up. And who was going to cosmetics? Who's going to women's fashion? Who's going to shoes? And they looked at me and they're like, men's trousers. And I was like, men's trousers? I didn't even know the word trousers. I'm like, pants? I'm gonna sell pants? I moved all the way to London to sell pants? And they're like, yes. And so I did, and I had to measure old British men's inseams and whatnot. And I was like, sir, you're like 1,000,000 years old. I feel like you know your size. They're like, I forgot my size. And I was like, okay, so here you go, selling men's pants. And then I even got demoted from that department, I guess, because I didn't know pants means underwear in England. And so I kept asking all these old men, like, what size underwear they were. And they just were like, oh my God, where can we put her? So then I had to sell pajamas. So I sold pajamas for a while to really rich people, and I knew then, I was weird. And so I was like, I got to really turn this train around. So I ended up graduating with 5 degrees. I just worked my ass off. I got a degree in marketing, international business, psychology, Chinese, business administration. I'm like, what? What can they say now, okay? So I ended up moving out here, graduated, all these things. And in the meantime of that, I moved to China. So I'm like, that sounds really weird, right? So I'm a little white girl, Italian, Irish, from Long Island, New York. I come home, tell my parents I'm moving to China. They were like, oh no. Like, you've now really lost it. They're like, we've supported you in this whole business idea and you being a blogger, but like you have lost your mind on this one. And I was like, no, I'm moving to China. So I didn't know how to speak Chinese. I didn't know anything. I honestly didn't even know where in China I was going. Again, I was like, this sounds cool. It sounds weird. I just wanted to get the hell out of Vegas. Put me in China, sure, let's do it. I had failed French, I failed Italian, I failed Spanish. Sure, of course I could speak Chinese. So they were very reluctant to let me go, but I went to China, and again, this thing came over me of like, I'm gonna do good in the world, I'm here for a reason, I'm gonna learn Chinese. And that was a whole weird experience because I was not very good at Chinese when I first got there. And I was always trying to practice and talk to locals. And I remember one time I was really stoked because I learned how to say su biaozi, which is vegetable dumplings. And I was like, I am killing it. I could go out tonight and order vegetable dumplings. And so I practiced in my classroom. I went outside and I went to this little shop and they sell like handmade vegetable dumplings. And it was like really cool. And I was like, ni hao. 我要 su biaozi. And they were like, what? And I was like, su biaozi. And they were like, oh my God. So they started calling over all their friends, and now all these Chinese women are gathering around me, and I'm like, because they want to show off like how amazing my Chinese is. I'm like, come on everyone, come and hear me speak. And basically, what I was saying was, I would like 3 vegetable bitches, please, and I would like them from my friend as well. So I was up there ordering vegetable bitches from me and my crew, thinking I was cool, and I remember like them laughing and like gathering together, and I went back into my classroom and I told my teacher what I said, and she was like, oh my God. She's like, you said that? And I was like, yeah, why are they laughing? She's like, you order vegetable bitches. She's like, that's not okay. And I was like, oh God. So again, knew I was weird. I just had to roll with it. I'm like, this is gonna make it for a good story one day. And hopefully it is right now. And so yeah, I went to China. It was weird there. And I actually lived there twice. And the second time I lived there, shit went down. Things got real. I remember one day I was eating my little chuan xiang, which is like just vegetable skewers, eating then a mango smoothie, and I was like, shit, I am living life. By that time, I was able to say more than vegetable bitches, and I was really like integrating into the culture and having friends. And then with that, the floor started shaking. And things started falling off buildings, and people started screaming and like gathering to the street, and people are now running down the street, and I'm like, oh shit, what does this mean? Is this a Chinese thing? And I was like, no, this seems like a danger thing. What is going on? So I just grabbed my friend, I'm like, we gotta go. So we started running with everyone, men with no pants on, and I was like, what the hell kind of traditions do they have? And so we ran down the street, and I honestly didn't know. The earth was literally shaking. And so we sat by a rock for like 4 hours. We couldn't call anyone. I was like, let's call the U.S. Embassy. What? I don't know. And so none of the phones worked. We couldn't get through to anyone. None of our friends were there. No one around us spoke any English. By that time, what the fuck is happening? In Chinese, I didn't know that. I was like, great. Should have learned that in school. And so long story short, there was a 7.8 magnitude earthquake on the other side of the mountain where I was. Yeah. And so it was in that moment, praying by a rock in China, thinking, oh damn, my parents would be so mad at me if I die in China. They didn't want me to go. And I'm like, okay. And at that time, I was kind of like communist atheist having a moment in China. And I started praying to everyone. I'm like, God, Buddha, baby Jesus, everybody. I was like, you gotta make sure my ass gets back home. And because I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble if it doesn't. And please keep me alive, keep my friends alive. And I promise I will dedicate my life to doing good in the world and helping people live their dreams. That was 8 years ago. So hopefully that is all now. And it is. That's my life now. And I dedicated myself to that 8 years ago. And that's the ride I've been on. And again, every single time that I've really taken a leap and done good and thought outside the box, it was all in times when people were like, that's weird, right? Doing marketing for social good. Being a woman in business who had like no way of showing anyone that she could even do it. Being gay too. I thought that was gonna really shake people's worlds, and I'm like, no, you're already fucking weird already, so it's fine. Like that was not shaking to anyone. Like, oh, okay. I thought that was a big reveal at the end. No, they're fine. And so, yeah, I just always felt like such a weirdo, and I really hid it for a long time, but the more and more I go with this journey, the more and more I see like, being weird is cool, and then you get together with other weirdos and you're like, yes, we're doing it together. And really, I've been able to carve out my own creative career being weird and just being so tuned in to what I want to create in the world and being so, I don't want to say like stubborn, but maybe a little bit hard-headed, maybe. I mean, called those words before, but just being like, no, this is what we're doing. This is what we're creating. And Vegination being one of those projects. And that's why I'm so obsessed. People are like, you Instagram a lot. I'm like, I'm just literally so excited that this fucking weird idea happened and it's working. And I just want everyone to know about it. So we're gonna do a pop-up creative workshop to find our weirdness, our creativity, and how it's fucking awesome. Amen. Okay, question number 1. What do you do naturally? So what is the things that you do that you don't even think about, but you do? We're going deep this morning on a Friday morning. Yeah, that's how I roll. That's how Pablo rolls. Yes. I like it. Question number 2. What do you get compliments on? What do you get compliments on? Did you hear me? Okay. Number 3. What would you love to create, but you've been told it's too weird? Go deep, think about some things that you really want to create, but again, you've been told like, damn, that's weird. I don't know if that will work. Number 4, what's the weirdest thing you've done? Nick Brown again. I personally am an air guitar champion in Chengdu, China. I was the first and last time I picked up an air guitar. I don't know how I won, but a little bit of Chinese beer and a feather boa, and I was an air guitar champion. I really did win. That's my number 4. Number 5. What would you love to create by the end of this year? Give me like 1 or 2 things that you would love to create by the end of 2016. That is gonna be here before we know it. Number 6 is, who would you love to meet to help you create your idea? thinking in a moment too how weird people probably like walking in regular breakfast and this is all going. Hey guys. Good morning. Talking about our feelings. Number 7. How would you love to feel as this awesome, creative weirdo doing their thing? Like, what does that feel to you? Hi. Number 8. What is one way your weirdness makes you even more kick-ass? Number 9. If you let go of maybe a fear that you had about being a weirdo or being too different or fear of not having it happen, what would be one thing you would love, 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 love to do? The guy who just walked out, he makes a really cool vegan natural beard care company out of Vegas. Yeah, Justin.
Natural what?
Beard care. I don't use it personally, but I heard it's very good. He's cool. He's weird too. Let's wrap this up. Number 10. What is one thing you could do today that is weird but awesome that's going to help you move forward? So maybe it's calling up someone. Now we do think it's a little weird to call people. I do. Listening to voicemails, I'm like, no thanks, yeah, no. Try me again, I'm not listening to your voicemail. But maybe listen to a voicemail that you've been stalling on or like going somewhere. Whatever you think, it like feels kind of weird, but like at the same time, you know you want to do it. Like it feels like the next step, but it might feel kind of weird. Like what does that look like? And it's something that you could do today. I used to take it really personal. I used to like, when someone's like, that's a weird idea, I was like, oh my God, they're talking about me, you know? And I used to get really down, but now I'm just so much more in my own flow, and I make sure that I get up in the morning and I have my own morning rituals that tune me into me. So that, you know, I still get criticism and just weird comments here and there, you know, but not in the weird good, like the weird, like, what? And I'm learning to not absorb that because it's not about me. Usually that person is going through something and maybe I remind them of what they do want or remind them of someone else or just brought up something in them that they need to work on. So taking things not as personal and then just really keep going back to me. I burn a lot of sage. I'm like, whatever, hater, sage you later, you know? And I sage myself whenever I have that moment too. And I burn like Palo Santo. And I'm like, I'm sending pink light to your ass because I cannot absorb that. So I do that and I wear protection oil and I have crystals in my pockets. Like I go for it. Yeah, I really try to like lock this vortex in, you know?
How do you think that Vegas weirdness affects business here?
Okay, that's a very good question. So in New York City, a lot of the ideas that I was working on, like in New York City, it was pretty weird. I lived in Astoria, Queens. I lived on an urban farm. We had 10 chickens in our backyard, grew our own food, had 100,000 bees on the roof. Like that was a weird situation. But in New York City, because there's so much people there and things have been going on for a lot longer, it wasn't as weird if, say, we bring it here. I would say in Vegas, it's still a pretty blank canvas and you could do a lot of stuff. So I say the weirder the better. You know, the more out of the box, but make it sustainable, make it simple enough that you could actually get started on. Those are always my favorite types of businesses. They're weird, they're out of the box, but they're also very simple to start implementing. So I think in Las Vegas, just my own experience, I've had a lot more creative freedom to live as a creative because the cost of living here is so much lower. I mean, when I moved here from New York, my rent was like 400 times less and 400 times bigger amount of space. I was like, what? I made it! You know, I felt like a baller when I rolled through here. I have a studio apartment, it's not, but I like lived in a closet, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, what? We get to go outside, that's amazing. So I think just use it as a blank canvas, put some stuff out there that hasn't been seen before, and just really connect with a community that it serves. And I think you could really rock and roll and do a lot.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I would say go with your gut. That's what my mom would always say. My mom, she's like, I'm a life coach. She's not. She just watched a lot of Oprah. And my mom watched a lot of Oprah from Long Island, smoke-eyed, cat suits, spiky blonde hair. And she's like, I'm going to help you live your life, you know? And so she would always be like, follow your gut. Just follow your gut. She's like, you are a little weird, but just keep following your gut. And I have to say, Joan Bennett brought the wisdom. She thought I was the weirdest of them all. She's like, I don't know, honey. I don't know. Maybe you have she kept saying, I think you have like a vitamin deficiency. She's like, I'm going to take you to the doctor and get your blood taken and just check your vitamin levels. I think you need like a multivitamin. And I was like, Mom, no, I don't need a multivitamin. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, there's no vitamins going to help that. She's like, nah, I think your vitamin B's are off. Really bad. And I was like, okay, Mom. But now she's like proud because there's like a restaurant that I'm like associating with. She's like, okay, I don't know what you do, but you do something with like help people go vegan and have events around it. And I was like, not really, but kinda, I guess. Sure, we'll go with that. But yeah, my mom still doesn't know what I do, but she told me to follow my gut, and that's what I've been doing. Yeah. Do you know this person, or are they a stranger?
Me.
No, like when you're, the person that you want to talk to.
Both.
Okay, strangers, spew that shit all out, right? You're never gonna see him again. I would tell people the wackiest shit that I wanted to do, like the guy on the subway. I'm like, hello, sir. I'm gonna do this, and I would just say all these things to strangers because I knew I'd never see them again. And they thought for sure it was a whack job, but they would just keep going, and I would go, I'm like, okay, bye. And but by just spewing and saying it a lot, I was able to then fine tune it. So when I met someone that I know that could be a possible collaborator, consumer, whatever, I had my shtick cleaner because you don't want to overwhelm people. You're so excited by just, whoa, I'm gonna do this. So I like to practice on strangers and then get it cleaned up, and then when I meet someone that I know is like a possibility, have it tighter. Because once your idea is tight, it doesn't have to be perfectly structured yet, but the concept, that's why I'm so obsessed with branding. I'm like, if you have a clear brand, then you could see how you could work with each other, how someone could help you, who they could connect you with. But once you have that, then you could talk, but until you get there, practice on strangers. Starbucks, great place to practice. No, I don't know why he trusted me, but he did. No, I never did anything like that. I was a blogger. I'm dyslexic, so writing in general is like a task and a half. So I just hired an editor. I was like, yeah, me and my editor will work. Like, hi, are you an editor? I need help. And I just hired this girl, and she was pretty cool. But I was really into blogging. I would say that was the most experience I had with writing. But I did go to school for marketing and business, so I had that background. I've worked in advertisement for an ad agency, so I knew how to tell a story, but I had never done anything like that before. But I just said, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't tell him that, but yeah, I said, of course. I write business concepts all the time. It's first one.